Hello crafty people, this is Kelly from Crafty Kelly's at www.craftykelly.co.uk. So today I have a little project to go into my card journal that I thought we could make together today. So if you don't know anything about card journaling, this is my concept of creating a creative log of card fronts for you to always have them to refer back to. So if you create a project that you really like, you log your recipe, take either a photograph or make a copy of your project to stick into your book. What I have started doing is, because my book started getting quite bulky, is I've taken those projects out, I've photocopied them, and then I've stuck that photocopy image into my book, which they still look amazing. So I'm on project 14 for this book. If you want to get hold of my logbooks, so this is the card journaling logbook, Log It by me. They are available at Amazon all the time, or when I have stock of them, they are available on Create and Craft, and they will be on my next show, which will be coming up in November. So, oh yeah, that was a little teaser. Wait and see. So if you're interested, please craft along. If not, then please just join in for the actual project. So I am going to be using products from my range, Crafty as a Fox. So let me just bring those in. So my first collection was my vintage collection. I've got a stamp, stencil and decorative papers that go with that, and some ephemera. In here, my ephemera pack, I've got bits that I've cut out from my papers as well. So I just keep them all in these little folders, so then I know where they are. It just makes it really easy for me to kind of navigate and find them. So I've got a couple of other bits. If you're into the Katie Sue Designs molds, here are some that I've had in my stash for a very long time. And I got round to making the molds, and I've not got round to painting them, but I thought for this project I might actually use them. I've also got a couple of my frames, but you can use any kind of frame die for this, and I've got 4 of them here to layer up, and the top one we will do some embossing on. And so this is the moth from my paper collection. Got some watercolor cardstock from Creative Crafting World. I think it's 300 GSM, and some of the super black cardstock. I've cut them out using the Tim Holtz decor, I'm not sure how you say it, trimmer. So that's how I got my jaggedy lines, but you can get dies that do that too. I've also got this random die, which I have no idea what collection it's from. I don't know how long I've had it, but I'm going to use it. So there are all the little bits and bobs, I think, that we're going to use today. So let's get on with the project. Okay, so I've got my stencil out. Now I do put a spray adhesive on the back, so I'm hoping this will still work even though I'm going to do it. Because I've got numbers that I want to transfer onto here. But let's first blah 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 blah, excuse me. Today it's one of those days. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the reverse side of this to transfer some ink, so then I've got the white space as my actual, what would be my stencil part. It'll all make sense because I'm going to stamp through the stencil in the next the next step. So let's give this a go. I've not done this before. I saw another project and I thought, I love it, let's give it a go. So what I'm going to do is you could use spray or you could use your ink pads and just kind of rub it over the back of the stencil like so. Okay, so this is a little bit messy, but we'll see how we get on. I'm going to grab some scrappy paper just in case I need it. So I might in just a sec. I'm going to spray the back of the stencil just lightly. And then let's clean that off quick. Where's my cloth? Give that a quick wipe. My clothy cloth. I've got a really squeaky chair, guys. What is this all about? No wonder I filmed without any me talking for, you know, for a while, because it's all squeaky squeaky. So I'm just going to lay that on top, leave it there for a second, just dab, just try and make sure that's transferred. Not quite what I was going for, maybe a bit more water. Will she be able to get it back in place? Probably not, and it's not so much of a big deal. Okay, there we go. Don't mind if a bit of it gets everywhere, but you know. Yeah, like that, like that. So I'm just going to dry this section off, and then I'm going to move the stencil down and do the bit underneath. So okay, so that's looking pretty good. I've cleaned up my stencil because it got really mucky. This is really messy technique, but actually it's really super fun. I'm now gonna grab another ink. Wasn't sure if I should go for Vintage Photo or Gathered Twig. Have I got something I can do a little stampy stamp on? Stampy stamp. Let's just have a little look. Where's the stamp I want? Boop, boop, boop. Oh, it's there. So I'm going to grab my script stamp from my vintage collection stamp it range textures. So this is my first one. So let's have a little look at the colours. Vintage Photo. Well, if I'm honest, they look exactly the same there. Right. Let's take that end. Yep, they look exactly the same. So we'll go for the Vintage Photo. Although, I might go for some brushed cord. Let's have a little testaroonie of that. I'm not sure if that's too similar or not. Well, we'll give it a go. And I can always redo it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to reposition my stencily stencil back over those white spaces. Now the stick on my stencil is going a little because, well, the stuff that I do, and I do use this stencil an awful lot. So I'm going to take my stamp, and I'm not putting it onto a block. I'm going to hold everything in place. And the reason I'm not holding it onto a block is because I want to push through that stencil with that stamp. And it's a lot easier to be able to kind of push my fingers through than sometimes with a block. Ooh, we've got some transfer. That's cool. Let's do a little bit more. Right. So it is coming up Halloween, people. I love Halloween. It's all about Halloween in my household at the moment. I hope you're all in the spirit. We went into Sainsbury's the other day. I can't believe the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff they've got. It was amazing. I wanted to buy everything. Although I'm not allowed. So I've not really got transfer through there. So I'm going to try that again. Whoops, a daisy. Because this bit is quite little. So I might just have to like pick little bits of it. So I just get a little bit through it. The text isn't going to be visible to read in any way whatsoever. It's just to give an impression. Oh yeah, you can just about see. So it's giving it a little bit of texture. I may go back over it with hickory smoke or one of the greys. Not quite decided yet, but on the stencil parts that have got more of an open space, it does work pretty well. So I am going to add a little bit of brush cord, I think, and a little bit of black soot. One of those and one of those. So a little bit of brush cord. Double check. Just in a couple of spots. Lovely. That's already like made such a difference. And then a little bit, she says, of our black soot. Not doing every single kind of edge of it. I'm just kind of just picking out a little bit. Perfect. Look at that. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, so I want to make a back to my frame. Now these were the inner parts of the frames, the white ones. So I'm going to use that, and I'm gonna make the background without obviously all the stencil, not obviously, but I'm going to make it without all the stenciling. So let's grab some gathered twig, give it a little bit of a going over. Try and get rid of some of those harsh lines now I just made, and I didn't mean to. Yeah, it's a bit better. Now I'm going to use my brush cord. Or should I use walnut because it'd be darker? No, use brush cord. I'm going to get some of that texture from this, from there, and I think, where's my hickory smoke spray? There it is, hiding. Just going to get a bit of I think I'm going to add some of that spray onto here because I really like it. May have just gone a little bit overboard there, but we can just gently edit. Okay, it's very warm. I need to get some of my, so I'm using confetti ink. So this is from Stampin' Stamps by Me. I quite like to use this. It's a nice kind of bright white. I think I want some bigger drops, so I should have probably picked up a bigger paintbrush. Yep. Let's pick up a bigger paintbrush. For bigger drops, bigger paintbrush, guys. Just so you know. Little ones, little paintbrush. There we go. And get a bit of that on there. There we go. Okay, so I've put my background to one side because I'm just going to let that white dry, and then I'm just going to do a little bit of fussy cutting of my little what's he called, moth. Now, I'm not the world's greatest fussy cutter, but over the years what I've learned, and I shall share with you, is I need to keep my scissors still as much as possible and move the cardstock, and you get a much better cut, he says. I've got friends of mine who are pretty much professional fussy cutters, and I don't know how they do it. That was one of the reasons that I got myself a scan and cut, so I didn't have to do fussy cutting. But to be fair, I don't do it that often, and a little bit's always good for your dexterity and all that. I'm not gonna go too close into his little pokey out bits. Are they called mandibles? Something like that. I'm gonna just give them a little bit of, I just don't want to go too close because I know what I'm like. I'm gonna end up cutting them off. So no need. Boop. Almost done. All right. There we go. There we go. Because when I designed my paper collection, so he's also in the ephemera pack, but he has a white border on the ephemera pack. In the paper collection, because he was designed to be on like the darker browny background, I don't have to go round him to kind of get rid of that white, which is great. Saves me a job. So he's all cut out and I'm happy. Next, I am going to die cut some of these flowers, or floral. I think they're a poppy maybe. In black. So I've cut 3 of those out, and a couple of extra little heads. I think that should be enough, so I'm going to pop that over to one side. But whilst I've got the die cutting machine here, I am going to run my lovely little frame through this wood style embossing folder. This is a Sizzix stroke Stampin' Up one. Now I can't remember if I need, because it's a deep one, I might have to take the shim out as well. Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, because it's a deep one. Oh, that's fab, isn't it? That's fab fun. So if you joined in one of my previous projects, I did a project where we used die cuts in our embossing folders, and it was just really good fun. That, like, it's kind of inspired me to do more. So let's have a little looky. So this is going to be a bit like that. So I've got 4 of them. You can use any frame or make a frame using some of your dies to just lift it up. You could use foam pads, but I kind of wanted that kind of solid look. And then these. So these we're going to add a little bit of gold embossing powder, and we're going to put a little bit of hickory smoke on there. So I like to keep my embossing powder, Kelly, in these system storage containers. They're actually for sandwiches, but for me, because they're shallow but they're wide, I just find they work pretty well for how I like to kind of dip my cardstock and stuff, because I can just kind of go like that and then give it a shake. And let's brush a little bit of that off because I've gone a little bit crazy. Is with just a tiny bit of spray. I'm going to use the most versatile tool I have. Just tap on. A little bit of hickory smoke. Dabbed on a little bit of hickory smoke, but I'm going to use brass or bronze. Let's go for the bronze. Oh no, let's not go for the bronze. That's not quite the colour I'm looking for. This one is, she says. I'm just going to pop a little bit there on my mat. Just get my finger a little bit wet. And then I can just dab some of that on. So I want to add a bit more texture to my background, and I'm going to use some black embossing powder, the Distress embossing door bar, and the crackles in my stencil, because I thought that would be fun and a bit kind of ooh. Okay, so now I'm going to do this corner, same thing. Hey, look at that, that's looking pretty fab, isn't it? I love it, love it, love it. Well, now where's my little black bit? Let's bring that in. So you're going to look like that. Then you guys are going to go like that. The centre of you is going to be that. Pop that in the back. You're going to be like that. And then pop you in there. You in there. Add some extras, and I've got one extra just in case I feel it needs a bit more. Oh, I don't know if I need my Katie Sue bits. Right, I will do a couple. Let's paint up a couple just in case. So first thing I'm going to do with these is I am going to paint them all black. Okay, so I'm going to just use a teensy weensy bit of this gold. She says teensy weensy and quite a bit comes out. I don't need that much. Put some of that back. That's what I do with hand cream. Where I always put too much out. Whoop. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of water. This is an acrylic gold, just one I got from Hobbycraft. Yeah, good make. I've got a few paints by them, should I say. And let's start with my key. So I don't want too much on, but I'm sure I've got too much on my brush. So I'm just going to brush over. Just to pick up some of those features and details. I think I'm going to add a little bit of the antique bronze on here, but I'm going to scribble a load of it onto there. And then I'm going to add a little bit of water to it. So first things first, what we need to do is we need to pop this down onto the base. Okay. Fab. That's that bit done. Now let's glue these bits together. So I'm going to use my bits from Katie Sue, and I can use these on another project when I'm ready to. So let's pop those to one side. Okay, so first things first, I need to stick those guys down. So just a little bit of glue and just stick this whole thing down. Whoop. It was about there. That one I'm sticking on flatty flat. And then these ones I can just do the tails. Nothing else needs to go under there. So that, oop, the right way. And go there. Now, let's get these right. Ooh. Super hot. Must be careful. Oh, no, what? My bad. Right. Bigger. Okay, so now I've put my project together and I'm happy with it. I've got all those golden lovely bits on there. I've got a heat embossing, and I've got those bits from Katie Sue Molds. And then I've got this, my lovely kind of Silence of the Lambs style moth. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, how that's come out. So let's add a sentiment. I've got the Tim Holtz little sentiment stickers. It's called Small Talk. Really good. So I'm going to go for one of these little ones. I don't want like a big sentiment. I just want something like little. I did just see one that I quite liked, which was Own Your Dream, or Make Today Count, Be Original. Do I like that one? Or Own Your Dream? I'm going to go with Own Your Dream. So these are some just adhesive back stickers to put onto your project. Now I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. I think I'm just going to pop it straight in there. There you go. So I've got myself a sentiment in there, which is fabulous, because we've got to finish it off with something. And there we go. So next step is to get a copy of this to pop into my card journal book. write down all the items I've used, ready for if I want to create this project again. So what I'll do is I will add that into the video, me just finishing off that, and I will catch you all again soon. If you want to follow my card journaling journey, or you want to jump on board with it, go to www.craftykelly.co.uk, where there is blog posts about it, videos, the previous pages I've done, and all of that stuff. Please give us a subscribe, like the video, and it all helps me keep producing more content for you. I'm almost up to 1,000 subscribers, so if you can subscribe, that would really help me out. But otherwise, I will see you in the next crafty video, and exciting stuff in November. So see you all soon. Take care now. Bye.